Good morning, students. Welcome back to our online classes. Yesterday we started doing the poem Portrait of a Prince. It is a poem based on a tiger. Here in this poem, the poet Dennis Martindale has described the physical, not only the physical features, but also the mental and emotional features of the tiger, and he calls him a prince because of his majestic and royal qualities. So, yesterday we did the first 4 paragraphs. There are only 8 paragraphs in the poem. All the 8 paragraphs follow the rhyme scheme of AB, and it's a very lyrical poem, rhythmic poem. There are 8 syllables in first line and 6 syllables in the second line. The same pattern goes on each line. So, when we read the poem, it comes out quite rhythmic. So, I hope you have read the poem yesterday and you have written the paraphrases of all the first 4 paragraphs. In the first 4 paragraphs, the poet describes the physical appearance of the tiger, then the eyes, then the ears, eyes, and the sense of smell of the tiger. Now let's begin the 5th paragraph. Behold, I told you, it means look, see, observe the tiger's tight-lipped mouth. Tight-lipped means closed mouth. It is never opened. You never see a tiger having open mouth always. He keeps his mouth shut, tightly shut, closed. He hides his daggers. Now, it is, it is a metaphor for teeth. Well, daggers means sharp teeth. He keeps his mouth closed, in which he hides his sharp teeth very well. Right? His top set north, his drop dead set south. So, the lower set of teeth points north and the upper set of teeth point south. So, all these canines, they are very sharp canines, like these 4 canines are very sharp. The lower canines point out towards north and the upper canines point out towards south. What tales these teeth could tell. So it is also, this line is also a metaphor for, because teeth cannot tell tales. Only human beings can tell tales. So it is a human quality which has been given to the teeth. So the teeth are personified as daggers. So what tales these teeth could tell. Tales means the stories. What stories these teeth could tell? Because he's a carnivore animal, so he has a lot of stories to tell about his action, his hunting, his how he killed his prey. So about the stories of his heroism, how heroically he killed many big animals. So in these 4 lines, the poet talks about So in these 4 lines, the poet talks about the teeth, the dagger-like teeth. Dagger means chura, sharp teeth, because they look like daggers. The knives, sharp knives, like teeth of the tiger. And they have many great stories to tell because of his heroism, because of his teeth only, these sharp canines only, the tiger killed so many animals, so many big, huge animals as his prey. Now, next stanza. Behold the tiger's neck so still. The tigers, you can see, if you observe a tiger up closely, you must have seen some documentaries on Disney Channel or Animal Planet. So if you see them closely, you must have watched, you must have observed that they never move very fast. They sit at one place patiently, calmly, peacefully. They are never so much hyperactive. They are very peaceful and calm and composed animals. So, behold the tiger's neck so still. It is so still. It is never fast moving. The neck is not fast moving. It is very much slow moving. It's in slow motion. They poised with regal grace. Poise means confident. They are confident of their. Regal means kingly. Royalty. Grace means presence. They are very much aware. They are they feel themselves as a kingly person. They take pride in themselves to be a royal beast. Portraying here means presenting here the prince will despite the human race. So portraying here means presenting before you a prince, just like a prince, the royal prince presents himself. Same way the tiger behaves in his territory, in the jungle, in the forest, as if he is a royal king, he is a royal prince. Despite the human race means in spite of the human beings who think themselves as the most intelligent and most powerful being on this earth, powerful species on this earth. But in the forest, tigers are the most powerful animals. So in this stanza, the poet describes that the tiger's quality of always being in control. The neck is so still that it is not freely moving. The neck is not moving freely here and there. That means he has a control over his senses, over his body parts. His heart, his mind is at proper place. He knows what he has to do. He always sit quietly. They sit in a very poised manner like a royal person. They are never on a move. They don't move. They don't loiter here and there unnecessarily. But while sitting magnificently at one place, they still exercise control over their surroundings, their situations. They know each and every sound around them. They are so alert. Their ears are so alert that they pick up even the smallest sound. And you might think that the human race is the most highest, is the most intelligent race, but they are the most tertiary. But looking at this royal behavior of the tiger, your deception is broken. Your thinking is proven wrong, because the tigers are confident, graceful and calm and composed animals. They don't move here and there. They have a very kingly aura around them, which is above human race. Right? So this is the paragraph 6th. Now paragraph 7th. Behold the tiger's sovereign style. Sovereign again means royal or kingly style. His sense of who is he. He has a great knowledge. He has a great sense that who is he? What is he? That he is so great. He knows this. He is a royal beast. He knows this. He has this understanding of this idea that he is royal. He is not an ordinary animal. He is above the ordinary. He is above human beings even. His wicked ways, wicked means crafty ways, his covering guile means very deceptive smile, his final parting kiss, that he knows that he is very wicked, he can be very smart, he can be very deceptive, although he is smiling, but his smile can be a cheating one. His smile is deceptive because you never know when will he attack. Parting kiss, final parting kiss means when will he attack. So in this paragraph, the poet tells the tiger looks extremely royal. His style is unmatchable. There is no comparison of tiger with other animals. You cannot compare tiger with any other animal, not even to human beings. Those who think that they are royal and they are king, they are above all. But still, the poet says that we humans cannot compare ourselves to the tiger, because tigers, they are they have a sense of grace in themselves. They have a sense of royalty in themselves. Their appearance, their sharp eyes, their sharp ears, and their sense of nose, and their dagger-like teeth. With that everything, although like everything which has been, every quality which has been described in the poem, it speaks about the royalty, the magnificence of the tigers. So they are unmatchable. His sense of who is he means he understands his position. He understands his level, that he is a royalty. He is not a commoner. He is not a nonentity. He is kingly. He is royal. He is in control of his situation. But he has his wicked means. That means you can't trust him. They are deceptive. They are very crafty. They are very clever. He might kill you or bite you. He is very crafty. So his final parting kiss means he can kill you with a smile. So his smile is, don't go for his smile. His smile is deceptive, deceitful. His smile is cheating. So this is what the poet has described in this 7th paragraph. Now, behold the tiger's treachery. Treachery means betrayal of trust. Flee. Flee means run away from his handsome grin. Grin means smile, grip. For in a race, I think you will see that tigers always win. Right? Behold the tiger's treachery. Treachery means betrayful looks. Look at the tigers. Observe the tiger's deceitful looks, cheatingful looks. He always breaks the trust. You cannot trust a tiger. And whenever you are in a forest, you means the human beings, whenever we are in a forest, you should not compete with the tiger. You should not think yourself as higher than the tiger. Because whenever you are in a forest, always believe, always think, always know this thing, keep this thing in mind, that it is a tiger territory. So he is the commander, he is the leader, he knows the territory better than you. So he will always win. You cannot fight with the tiger in his own territory, in his own area, in his own surroundings, because he knows his surroundings better than you. He is more alert than you. So, in the last stanza, the poet tells us that observe the tiger's deceitful looks. He says that whenever you are near a tiger, you must run away, even though he is smiling. Tiger is very powerful and magnificent, who will always be a winner if there is a race between a tiger and a man. Due to his calm, composed outlook, demeanor, and the power to fight for himself and for others, makes him a royal beast, a royal being. So, that's all in the explanation, in the paraphrases. You have to write these paraphrases yourself. Listen to the video carefully. Each stanza has been explained very nicely in detail. So if you have any problem, call me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.